Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting video, and in this video I'm going to be playing some AI Dungeon 2. I hope you guys are excited. Let's start up the 30-minute timer for today's AI Dungeon 2 adventure. The timer has started, we've already started recording, so let's hop right into the adventure. Can I defeat a God King using Ninjutsu and Hypnotic Dance? Let's find out. And can I do it in 30 minutes or less? Jumping right into the adventure now. Closed Loop is an assassin academy that teaches students a combination of hypnotic dance and ninjutsu. Students of Closed Loop track those who have completed the Second Anointment ceremony and have become God Kings. God Kings can cast blessings and curses. They become gods over their own kingdoms when they die, and they receive no divine punishment for their actions on Earth. Because God Kings don't have to worry about going to hell, they have a habit of casting horrible curses without any fear of punishment. The only weakness God Kings have is that if they declare themselves as sons of Perdition, that they lose all their special powers and privileges and are damned to hell. You are a student of Closed Loop who is currently fighting a God King inside of their hotel room. You don't know the God King's name. The God King is wearing a hooded cloak, so you're not sure what they look like. Every God King specializes in casting blessings and curses based on a specific theme. You are not sure what the theme of the God King that you are fighting is. This is your first time actually fighting a God King, but you are well versed in ninjutsu and hypnotic dance. You can even make your opponents experience increasingly more realistic illusions the longer you fight them. Your goal is to weaken the God King, hypnotize them into declaring themselves a son of Perdition, and then assassinate them. And then this next part was what the AI came up with. You have been taught that any other method of defeating a God King is unrealistic. Okay, now let's hop into the adventure, start doing some actions. So I'm going to say to the God King, remove your hood so that you can die with honor. Okay, so I'm essentially trying to get a good idea of what the God King looks like. I do want to learn their backstory, I guess. I don't want to just, kill a faceless God King. What? The God King slowly lifts up their hood, and you are shocked at what you see. Dad? You say in disbelief. Oh, goodness. So already we got, a big twist. So it's my own father. So I'm going to, I guess, look at my father in disbelief. That's okay. Okay, so we already got something crazy going on here. Your first God King you have to kill is your dad. What a twist. You see a man with dark circles around his eyes who looks much older than he should. His hair is white and thinning, and his face is pale. He looks at you with dead eyes filled with despair. He looks down at the floor and sighs. What? Okay. So that's kind of crazy. So now we know what the God King looks like. And they're our father, so we don't really need to know their name. I'm going to, say to my father, I'm sorry, but you must die for what you've done. I've been sent by the Closed Loop to take you down. Just because you have become a God King doesn't mean that you are above the laws of heaven and hell. You have cast terrible curses, and for that, you deserve damnation. I wish this could have gone another way. But this is the only path left for you. Okay, so we're getting in some dramatic dialogue. Let's see if we have a father-son talk. Some kind of interesting family bond interaction. The God King looks at you with a startling amount of intensity and says, I understand. He continues to look at you, and then you feel his mind entering your own. Whoa! Okay. I'm going to ask the God King. Is your theme psychic-based? Are your blessings and curses all based on mental manipulation? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So, not only is the God King actually our father, but it also seems like they may have the ability to, like, manipulate minds with their curses. The God King nods his head and smiles. Yes. You begin to feel the presence of your father enter your mind. You try to block out the intrusion, but you feel it slowly getting in. This is what I've wanted to feel again. That's an interesting line. Very creepy. Goodness. So I'm gonna have to stop him now. I can't really focus on getting any additional details. Or maybe I can. I'm gonna ask my father. Why did you use your powers for evil? Why do you cast curses? You had everything. You were guaranteed godhood after death. Why throw that all away? For curses and evil. For curses and evil is such a lame line, but but I was trying to more or less say, what's the point of being a bad person when you essentially have already unlocked being all powerful? Dang, telling how it is. I was bored. Your father says so simply with a straight face that it confuses you. I was bored, he continues to say, as if that would explain everything. So he's just like repeating, dang, you know what? To be honest, that probably is why you would do it. If you're like a god king and you're like, yeah, I'm all set, like when I die, I'm just gonna like rule over my own kingdom instead of like go into the afterlife, and you essentially have everything that you could ever want because anything in the material world like doesn't matter, like in the long run, then yeah, I could see you just being like, I was bored. Yeah, I just wanted to do something. I have all this power. I'm just gonna use it. So that's pretty harsh. That he's just bored. I guess I'm going to ask my father. Because I'm just trying to get a full character profile on him right now. What is your new name now that you've become a God King? So we know what he looks like. We know what the theme of his curses are. Or I guess what the theme is for his curses. I don't know why I can't figure out whether or not I should say is or are. I don't have one yet. He says apathetically. Yeah, he really doesn't care. He's gotten to the point where he doesn't care about anything. I'll come up with one. I'll come up with one soon. Give me time to think about it. You watch as he sits down on his bed and sighs. I'm going to say to my father, you won't have any time to think of a new name. For tonight, you die by my hand. And then I'm going to begin my hypnotic dance in an attempt to summon intimidating illusions of dragons to haunt and frighten my father. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. As you dance, your father seems to grow angrier and angrier, as if he can feel your powers. Stop it! He yells at you in anger. Let's see. You know that you can't stop. Your father, at any moment, could try and shatter your psyche using his curses. You have to continue pushing forward and fighting with everything you've got in order to try and push your father to declare the truth. You say, I'll stop, but only if you declare yourself as a son of perdition. Okay. You hear your father yell, "No!" And then he bursts into flames as he screams. As the fire engulfs his body, he continues to scream for what seems like an eternity, and then the screaming stops. You watch as his figure collapses onto the floor and begins to turn to ash. He burst into flames and he died. But I didn't get him to declare that he was a son of perdition. It said I completed the quest, Weaken the God King. So let's see, weaken him. It looks like he just died. I'm going to call closed loop and say, the God King was my father. He had a psychic themed, well, I guess he had a psychic theme for his curses and was able to read my mind. I tried to intimidate him into declaring himself a son of perdition, but he randomly burst into flames and turned to ash. Because he didn't declare himself a son of perdition, he likely, well, it's not even that he likely did. He must now be a god in his own kingdom. I failed. I just didn't do what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to weaken him and then get him to declare himself as a son of perdition and then assassinate him. But if you just kill him, then he just becomes a god. Let's see. What happened to his ash? They asked. I'm going to get rid of the part where it railroaded me, and I'm going to answer their question. Says the closed loop operator, or I guess mission handler. That'd probably be better. Says the closed loop mission handler. And then I'm going to say, his ashes are still on the hotel room floor. Do you think we can somehow use his ashes to damn him to hell? Yeah, because we're in a really weird situation. I wonder if he used his psychic themed curse to use pyrokinesis to burn himself to ash. The mission handler pauses for a moment and then says, I'm not sure if we can, but I'll try to get a hold of some religious leaders in the city. Maybe they can do something with his ashes. Okay? I'm going to collect my father's ashes and take them back to Closed Loop Academy. Yeah, how do you normally succeed at something like this? Because what keeps them from just killing themselves magically, where you couldn't even stop them from doing it? You take his ashes to Closed Loop Academy, where you are met by the mission handler. These better be some really magical and holy ashes, because I have no idea how we're going to use them to condemn him to hell. Let's see. I'm going to reply to the mission handler. I'm not sure either. Unless we could somehow get his spirit to declare, to declare himself a son of perdition. If we could do that, then we could revoke his powers and privileges from beyond the grave and damn him to hell that way. We would need a psychic medium who can work with ashes. There is one psychic medium who works here, although I'm not sure if she's able to help us or not. The mission handler takes you to the medium and says, oh, it got confused. Because then afterwards it says, the mission handler uses a direct channel to call in another psychic, who arrives and takes the ashes. They add the ashes of your father to their own and begin to chant. Your father's ghost appears in front of you, still burning. You watch as his spirit writhes in pain. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of the, this line right here, where it says the mission handler takes you to the medium and says. And then it should read a lot cleaner. I guess I'm going to say to my father's ghost, you must declare yourself a son of perdition so that you pay for the crime, well, I guess for the curses that you have cast on the living. It's interesting that he's still, like, burning. He never declared himself a son of perdition, I don't think. Although you can't hear it, you know that the psychic medium is chanting something to the effect of, I don't believe in your God, and I renounce his name. Interesting. Has very little to do with what I just said to my father's ghost, or whatever. I'll hit enter, and if it's another thing that kind of isn't directly related, I might just hit retry. When they said the medium mixes your father's ashes with his own, I wonder if it's like magic ash mixed with like your father's ash. The pain of the burning remains the same, but your father's ghost stops writhing in pain. Okay, so he's still in pain, but he no longer writhes in pain? So I'm going to, like, say to my father's ghost. Well, actually, I'm going to think to myself, I wonder if my hypnotic dance works on spirits, and if I can use it to make my father's ghost declare himself a son of perdition. You begin to dance in front of your father's ghost. The psychic medium begins to chant in an unknown language. Your father's ghost writhes in pain. He seems desperate to get away from you. Okay, interesting. So it seems like he's trying to, like, avoid the hypnotic dance. Let's see. You believe that the hypnotic dance is working and that your father's ghost is trying to get away from you so that it won't be hypnotized into declaring itself a son of perdition. And then I'm going to ask the psychic medium. Wait, I didn't hit enter. The fuck? What's happening? Wait, what? That's actually really interesting what just happened. I didn't hit enter, but it continued the last part of the story without adding in the part I was writing. I don't even know how I did that. Let's see. You continue to dance, and your father's ghost begins to make pitiful screams. The psychic medium drops the ashes, which blow away in the wind. Your father's ghost does not return from whence he came. Instead, he just fades away. What? No, fuck you, game. The game, like, prevented me from doing the thing that I wanted to do. And then I just hit undo, and it cleared the do box, and I have to type it all in again. Man, okay, so I gotta keep going. So I'm going to ask the psychic medium. Is there any way you can restrict the movements of my father's ghost to force him to witness my dance so that he'll declare himself a son of perdition? The psychic nods and uses her power to force your father's ghost to the ground and then tilts his head so that he can't look away from your hypnotic dance. Okay. I'm going to complete the hypnotic dance and then demand that my father declare himself a son of perdition. This ended up being less of like an action-packed fight kind of thing than I expected, mainly because he kind of burst into flame suddenly. Your father's ghost screams in pain as he burns. You see the psychic medium suddenly go rigid and her eyes roll into the back of her head. Because she is controlling your father's ghost, this leaves her open to possession by a demon. I wonder why every time I request my father to declare himself a son of perdition, why he burst into flames. Yeah, because that actually doesn't really add up. I don't know why that's happening. You wonder if there's a way you can stop your father burning every time he dies. Excuse me. You decide that in order to prevent your father burning again, you need to free your father's soul from his body. He's already dead, though. And I don't think it's connected to him dying. Oh, snap. Wait, it worked? So that time I retried it, and it just says, your father declares himself a son of perdition and is granted access to hell. Unfortunately, your father's burning body sets fire to the building you are in. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, hold up. I know a way to make that make sense. Unfortunately, your father's ashes burst into flame. Let's say magically burst into flame and sets fire to the building you're in. Okay. I'm going to say to the psychic medium, We need to either get out of here or put out this fire immediately. So I think what might be happening whenever you like ask him to declare himself a son of perdition, that like maybe he's getting like closer and closer to like drifting into hell kind of thing. So simply by like requesting it causes his spirit to like set alight, even if it doesn't actually like send him to hell. That's kind of interesting, like if that is how that works. You run to the nearest fire exit and try to open it, but it's locked. You hear someone on the other side begging to be let out, but the door won't open. The fire spreads to the rest of the building, trapping everyone inside. Okay, crap. I guess I'm going to look for a fire extinguisher. I want to see if I can put out the flames. Also, do we not have like a sprinkler system in this whole building or whatever? You find a fire extinguisher and attempt to put out the fire. Unfortunately, the fire extinguisher has been overused and begins to explode in your hands. Oh my gosh. You are killed when you're hit by a piece of shrapnel. Instead of like it's been overused, maybe say that it's like been like overheated or something. So now I've been killed. That sucks. I'm going to attempt to come back as a ghost to try and save the academy. So let's see if that'll work. The explosion burns down the academy, killing everyone in it. And then it says, hooray, everyone's dead. Dang it. So, that actually just killed everybody. That fire extinguisher explosion was no joke. And neither was your father's ashes bursting into flames magically. So everybody at Closed Loop died. That sucks. Okay. So, I have a lot of questions. I still don't know why, my father kept bursting into flames whenever he was asked to declare himself a son of perdition. You also don't know why your father's ashes magically burst into flames when your father's spirit went to hell. The mysterious flames haunt my mind, as they may be the answer to what destroyed the Closed Loop Academy. You think that your father might have set a pyrokinetic curse on himself, specifically designed to try and prevent a closed loop assassin from being able to force him to declare himself a son of perdition. That would make sense. So every time that someone would try to hypnotize him into like declaring himself a son of perdition, he would burst into flames where he'd be like screaming and like unable to do so, right? And then if you die without declaring yourself a son of perdition, then you don't go to hell. But his curse was probably like an everlasting curse. So even when he was like a ghost it still happened. Like, if you asked him to declare himself a son of perdition, he would still burst into flames even as a spirit or whatever. Eventually, he was able to declare himself a son of perdition, but maybe either the curse was so powerful that, like, literally his ashes set fire, or when he, like, opened the gates of hell or whatever and entered hell, it was such a, like, powerful magical experience that it, like, caused his ashes to set alight or something. You wonder why you would have this pyrokinetic curse on your person, so you ask your father. What? No, well, actually, I guess I would be able to ask my father, because if I'm a spirit and he's a spirit, but I'd have to be in hell to do that. Your father doesn't seem to know anything about it, and declares that he doesn't have any knowledge or ability to curse objects. Well, that's contradictory, because the whole reason why I was going after my father in the first place is because he was a god king who was, like, casting horrible curses, and the reason why he did so is because he said he was bored. So let's hit retry on that. Then it said, unfortunately, you're hit by a speeding bus and killed. I'm already dead. I died in an explosion that also destroyed the rest of the academy. So retry on that. Let's see. You go to your local library and get some books on curses to try and find a way to break the curse that your father placed on himself. After a few hours, you find a book that discusses a rare curse called The Burning. Okay. So I'm going to research The Burning to try and understand how the curse works and how it might have been the cause of the academy exploding, essentially. Keep in mind, I'd be doing all of this as a ghost, because I had already died earlier. Also, the timer is already at 0 seconds, but I didn't hear the timer go off. That happens sometimes. What do you guys think of this adventure? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and on our Discord. If you guys like this video, make sure you smash that subscribe button, because we do AI Dungeon 2 videos here every day. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black the One Only, logging out. Peace, guys. Check it out.